Oh boy. Oh God. Just got the chicken, babe. Nailed his ass. Nailed his ass. Him and two other roosters, a hen, and a ton of chicks. Oh man. Swear to God. What do you do? Hey everybody. Welcome to the bottom line. I'm Michael Noland. Tonight is Tribal Forum number 62, and we're going to be discussing a possible new release by the Beatles, probably hinging on probable at this point. And of course, I'm talking about an Anthology 4 that seems to be scheduled for a release here in what, November? And the question is this album something that we really want, especially concerning the year? Now, they will claim that this is the 30th anniversary of Anthology, and so this is a wonderful year to release that. But there can be an argument that would indicate they could have done this next year. So we're going to be talking about that. We're going to be talking about what you guys are saying on my recent poll. We're probably over 400 votes right now, and it's just hours long. I just set this poll up today. If some of you are coming over because you might have seen my short, but you don't know anything about the channel, basically on the Tribal Forum, which is what this is. The channel's name is Michael Noland, the bottom line. But when I stream live, we call it the Tribal Forum. This is Tribal Forum number 62. This is where I get a chance to connect with you guys in real time, have information that you're giving me right now in my poll. If you haven't had a chance to vote on that poll, I would suggest that you go ahead and do that. It's an interesting poll. But before we get into all of that, I'm just going to take a couple of minutes here to cover some channel business. This won't take long. But the reason I do that is let people get a chance to trickle on in here. Okay. So what we're trying to do is boost the channel not only in subscribers, but we're trying to really get a good hold of views and everything like that. I just announced that the channel in less than 3.5 years hit 12 million views. That was 3 weeks ago, maybe, as memory serves anyway. The channel has now reached 12,288,000 views, and that information is 2 days old. I won't get an update up to today's views for another 2 days. That's usually how the algorithm and analytics work on my YouTube channel. But folks, in weeks, the channel has garnered over 250,000 views. I want to thank each and every one of you, right? Now, I do want to shout out Nestor, who's in the comments. He was earlier anyway. I just now deputized him. All tribal marshals, be on the alert for trolls. You know what to do with them. We don't need to discuss it any more than that. And I'm still getting, a lot of comments from people who are saying you're being unsubscribed or your notifications are being turned off. If that's true, there's nothing I can do about that on this end other than to provide you guys with a stable and reliable set of days that I stream. And I'm doing my best to cover that. I stream on Sundays at 5 p.m. PST and Wednesdays, I should say, at 5 p.m. PST. That's Pacific Standard Time for both of those evenings. I'm out here in California, so adjust your times, your own time zones and everything accordingly. And you might want to check to see if you're subscribed and re-click on that. Okay.
Divining said, excuse me, and Divining Dragon said your voice is crackling.
Is it now?
Yeah.
Oh boy. Okay. How bad is it?
How bad is it?
Yeah, that sucks. But
Yeah.
we'll see what we can do. I can go on for a few minutes. Yeah, keep an eye on the comments here for me, baby.
Okay.
And
Divining said it's not super bad.
not super bad. I've noticed in replays, there's points where it crackles and then it stops sometimes. So I'm going to continue right now, but let me know. Um, yeah, Natalie Angelo says, yes, it's breaking up for her. It remains moderate so far, not super bad yet. 20 likes, 28 likes. Yeah, we've got 28 likes already. And we've got 48 of you. And this would be horrible if I had to shut down and then re engage. But I'm going to continue for a few minutes. And if I did that within 10 minutes, I'd be back up or 15 at the max because I do want to go over this. So I'll ask you guys just before I get into the meat of tonight's subject if I'm still doing well here and everything, and we'll see what's going on. Boy, so many of you. Michael Boswell, 45 RPMs is in. Divining Dragon, Tim Henry of Music Life, blessings to you, brother. John C is in. Oh my goodness, there's so many of you. I know I'm gonna Lee Santa. Are you new, Lee? This is the first time I remember coming across your name, but I've been wrong before. There's so many of you. Kimberly is my wife in the background, the voice you hear. She's my producer. And so she's my tether to you guys because the way I stream is I have a presentation and a way to go about presenting the information I have tonight for you, right? And so she's vital to the working of this whole thing. So so Lee, if this is your first time in, welcome, brother. Or sister, I'm not sure. Let's see, Lee. Our daughter's, she has two middle names. One of them is Lee, and it was named after my Uncle Lee. So it can go either way there. Uh, let's see. Doc Insomnia, of course, is in. Johnny 2K6. Are you new, Johnny? Or has Johnny been in before, babe?
Not that I remember.
Okay.
No.
Yeah. So there's just a ton of you. And anyway, I'm still working on my the 21st century unholy 10 classic rock. It's going to have a lot to do with how I present. I will still keep doing my live streams just like I've done, but there will be a tether to the live streams from this point on, just to kind of give it almost an underlying theme from stream to stream. Okay, so we're still working on that. We've got merch. Oh my goodness, Michael Boswell in. And who else was in before Ben? Was it Ben? Yeah. And if yours escapes me, Ben, I took a photo of it, so I'll get to it. I'll get to both of you here in a minute. Uh, we do demand. We have been offering tribal merchandise so far, just mugs. This is the original one. I know my image is backwards for you newcomers, and the reason for that is I'm on a very basic platform. Okay, so I apologize for that. They both say we are the tribe. This is the newest design. I like the story behind this. When I was designing this cup, this is how I've always envisioned. The tribe is on some, mythological island, and they're on the shores. There's palm trees, blue water, right? And a monolithic giant Les Paul tilted after decades, perhaps hundreds of years of decay. And it's there to guide them to the classic rock promised land. So there is a theme behind that. And the other one, of course, is just a close up of the tribe. And I was going to discontinue this, but the more and more I think about it, I love this design. It just says it all. Look at that. All peoples from all over the world, different shapes and sizes, all in silhouette. So skin color isn't an option because that's where we all come from. The tribe comes from all over planet Earth, and I appreciate it. And that's an excellent way of supporting the channel and then getting something back in return, right? Okay, I also wanted to handle some shout outs, but before I do that, if I'm not real fast here, let's see. Yeah, I got to Ben in time. I'll miss these. Ben comes in with a power of two, and what does he say? Power of sway. How do you pronounce that?
Oh my
Sway?
goodness.
Sway.
Natalie
Sway.
came in. Natalie Angelo.
Oh, Natalie
Oh,
and Rock and Robin Bird. I'll be right with you guys. I'll just go on down the line here. Yeah, the power of sway. We are the tribe, says Ben. We certainly are, Ben. And good God, I appreciate your support, brother. What else do we have here? Uh-oh. The haunted iPad attacks again. There we go. Next in was Michael Boswell. Give you a thumbs up. I can't give you a heart because I'm on a different device, folks. Otherwise, I'd tap that stuff in a heartbeat. So you are getting your heart right now. I appreciate you so much. And Michael Boswell says, "Hail, hail, rock and roll." You know what? Michael and I just had a very interesting discussion.
Oh,
I
Deuce
pinned his comment.
just came in
Oh
with a
man,
everything.
I'll get to you,
Oh,
Deuce.
thank you so much.
Isn't that wonderful, baby?
Rock and Robin.
Yeah.
Oh,
Almost makes the
awesome.
running the chickens out of the yard just that much worthwhile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But anyway, Michael and I have had an ongoing discussion. Michael and I don't always see eye to eye. See, that's the beauty of this channel, folks. It's not what I say, it's not my opinion that makes it exciting. That might ignite you into responding, either in agreement or disagreement. Michael often doesn't see the universe quite like I do, and his viewpoint is just as valid as mine. So I pinned it right to the top, and we've had an ongoing conversation over the last couple of days, haven't we, Michael? Thank you so much. The power of two. Then we got Natalie Angelo, brand new tribal marshal. Okay. And she comes in with a $5 super thanks. Thank you, Natalie. The Who were fantastic last night. 50-year-old still can rock. Love you, Michael and Kimberly and all the tribe. I've only seen a couple of videos on that, and the response seems to be pretty good. The worst thing I heard is that the visual presentation isn't quite what it was. But like I said in the past, Natalie, yeah, the visual presentation is nice. But if the music is superior and everything, and they come out and they sit down on stools and give us, I mean, Led Zeppelin did that, right? They do an acoustic there. They're all out on stools and stuff. McCartney already did that back in his prime. They bring everybody up on acoustic guitars for part of the concert, right? So I don't care about that, but I do expect a prime performance, and I also expect occasionally some new music. And unfortunately, we're not getting a lot of that these days, are we, Natalie? And then Rockin' Robin Bird with the 1.5 power of 1.5. I love this. Rockin' Robin Bird, $1.49 to support the tribe. These smaller donations count up, folks. You can see that already tonight. We appreciate them as much as I appreciate some of the larger donations that the channel has received. And you know what? Those who can give larger donations, they're cheering you folks on. It's not a race or anything like that. They say, yeah, your gift is as good as mine any single day. That's why I point out each and every super thanks. It doesn't matter how much. Deuce is Wild with a $5 super thanks. Thank you, Deuce. He says, yes, I'm here. I came to rock. I came to roll with my tribe. I love this. Uh, Ain't no stopping the wonderful madness. Hail the tribe. Happy Wednesday to you all. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful sentiment. Did I get y'all? I did get y'all, which leads us to shout outs from the last stream. I'll do this real quick and we'll get on in there. I'll ask you how I'm doing as far as my voice and all that. Start typing in about right now if you could, folks. Okay, so um, these are the folks who gave us super thanks on the last stream. I always do this as a final sayonara thank you. I, of course, brought them up during the stream, just like I've already done on this stream. But I always kind of repeat this because I really am appreciative of all your financial support for this channel. We've discussed why we've gone this way before. You have to go back a ways. I haven't discussed it a whole lot lately, but you guys quite literally are keeping this channel alive. I appreciate each and every one of you so much. Ben Scheidegger, who's been in already tonight, he gave a $10 super thanks. Braun Snake gave a $2 super thanks. Deuce is Wild, who's been in tonight, gave a $2 super thanks. Just the Facts Man, brother channel to this channel, Dan McNew, gave us a $10 super thanks. John C. gave us a $5 super thanks. Rockin' Robin Bird, who's already been in, gave us a $2 super thanks. Irger Splitten Laudenboomer, a $2 super thanks. Thank you, Gear Jam. Natalie Angelo's been in tonight with a $5 super thanks on our last stream. Irger Splitten Laudenboomer would not be silenced. He followed up his $2 super thanks with yet another power of two. Deuces Wild was in again at $5. Angela, a longtime viewer from Royce's show, and I've inherited her over on my show and channel from time to time. Angela, thank you so much with your $5 super thanks. Agent Pepsi, Marshall Agent Pepsi, and what is ninth grade? Is that high school in your area, or is that top of the junior high? I'm not sure. That ninth grade was top of junior high back in my day, and I know in different parts of the country, there's a lot of school systems based more some on some of that. But let me know. She's a history teacher as well. And White Monkey, the channel that nobody subs to, gave us $5. Thank you so much, brother. And all I can say is you are one Franco Blondie. I appreciate it. Okay, folks, I'm going to get back on over here. I want to see if you guys are saying how my audio is. 48 likes. Oh, my goodness. I see 46 on mine, but different devices will register. That means we are two away from actually bumping up, and the stream as it's going will now go in to a whole lot of more home feeds as we're still going. So that's wonderful. We have 59 in right now. We've got a good crowd in here to get this started. And what do you guys say? How's my audio? Okay. This is the big thing. Do we continue or do I have to shut down, start this damn thing all over? That always hurts views. I don't like doing that. But boy, it sure has been an eventful week. Okay, how much is 1 year? A little better. Still crackles slightly, but not as bad. Oh, yes. Deuce, audio good from 45. Okay, good, good. Continue. All good from John C. Very good. All right. Let's see. I wanted to start off by reading Gear Jam's comment here. Let's see. That he left. Where was that? I thought I, excuse me, had that. Okay. It may have been right here. No. Oh, okay. Well, it's not coming out as I continue. Maybe I'll find that note because he had a great comment on what we're going to be talking about. Now, why would I dedicate a whole stream around a subject that most videos that are covering this are about 5 to 7 minutes long? Okay. The reason is because of the heroes or historicity of the story. you know, we've been going through this for a while, folks. If you think about it, and this goes back to 2022 when the Beatles released Revolver. Okay, I love this set. And at this point, this has got to be the best box set known to man because of what is included due to new technology, good mixes, what it offers. You've got the new stereo mix, remix, and remastered Revolver. You've also got the outtakes, which is a double album sleeve that's covered in the original album artwork concept for the front cover. You've also got a great mono version of it and a wonderful coffee table book with tons of information. Packaged wonderful. I was excited. My channel got tons of views around that, and it was absolutely wonderful. I didn't get this until a year later, and by the time I got it, there was still interest, and I still got great views covering and opening and unboxing that for you guys, right? Okay, so that was 2022. So, what were we thinking at the end of 2022, at the beginning of 2023? Rubber Soul was next, right? But that's not what we got. Instead, the Beatles mono box set, something that I wasn't interested in getting at all, became available. Of course, that's set up for the next year, the landing of the Beatles, and all of that. Do you see what's happening at the beginning of this? That particular release was used to tell a story and to continue the mystique around the Beatles. That's what they're concerned with these days. Want more proof? How? Oh, and by the way, before we get into that more proof, we were disappointed. But I grumbled and I was, upset about it. But I could see the logic.
Oh my goodness.
What's that?
Oh, sorry, hon.
Okay,
Sorry.
baby. Some of you got her excited. I mean, she's just, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
No, my phone went funny.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right.
I was scared me.
Her
Oh,
technology has betrayed her, folks.
Oh no. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of us thought, well, that made sense. Next year, after all, we'll get Revolver. That'll give them time to kind of really get in. We knew there was limited recordings around it and everything. And what did we get the next year? We got the Red and Blue albums for their anniversary. Okay. And to add insult to injury to the album Rubber Soul, they included quite a few tracks remixed with this new technology on the Red and Blue albums before releasing Rubber Soul. Why would that piss me off? I'll tell you why. Rubber Soul is rock's first true album. Okay? Classic rock's first true album. Everything from the release of Rubber Soul changed every damn artist in rock's whole direction, and all of a sudden everybody was recording albums with a theme or designed to be listened to as a unit. The Beatles started all of that, right? And so, and it also happens to be my favorite Beatle album. Closely followed by Revolver. I'm almost ready to flip them, but I'm still saying it's my favorite Beatle album. Always has been. This golden moment, the two R albums, Revolver and Rubber Soul, was a golden sliver of moment for the Beatles, with Revolver leading into the next phase. But much of it would have fit real well on Rubber Soul, and a lot of what's on Rubber Soul would have fit real well on Revolver. George Harrison once said that he found, and he's the begrudging Beatle, right? He found the recording sessions for both Rubber Soul and Revolver very enjoyable. And he always said you can see them as parts one and parts two. And I've often said I almost consider them a double album, right? So when they did that, when they added those tracks and raped a few more, thanks to Giles Martin, they need to get that guy off the team. Uh, what they did is they belittled the impact, especially when all of us at this point went next year for sure. Watch me take a rabbit out of my hat, right? It had to be next year because next year, 2025, was going to be the 60th anniversary of Rubber Soul and for Help, by the way. And there didn't seem to be any indications we were going to get anything from Help, which I think we should have gotten remixed from both of them. Remixed box sets early in the year and then later in the year. I know that's pushing it as far as product goes, but if you really wanted to give these albums the respect that they deserve, then you would have released them both in 2025. Well, it's late or getting around that time period where it's getting, close to late 2025, and we haven't gotten anything from Help. And I think it would have been a clear decision they'd release Rubber Soul over Help if it was a toss up between the two of them. And according to hints and allegations and rumors and hiccups, we're not going to get Rubber Soul on its 60th anniversary because we have to have Anthology on its 30th anniversary. Does that make any sense? Right? I know Divining Dragon's out there right now just cussing up a storm under his breath, right? Because he's pretty much coming from where I come from on this. I think a lot of you are, and I'll even prove my point here in a second. Okay, so here's the bugaboo about the whole thing, folks. Yes, Anthology 1 was released in 1995, but two-thirds of the Anthology albums were released in 1996, March and October of that year. Two-thirds of the Anthology project belongs in 2026 as far as celebrating its true 30th anniversary. Okay? So I don't understand their whole line of thinking, except remember what I was saying. They are trying to tell the Beatles story. They're more interested in telling the Beatles story than the actual art that the Beatles produced. And what a despicable move it is when you think in regards to the wonderful masterpiece of rock, Rubber Soul, right? There's every reason why they could have held this off. Most of this project is linked to 1996, right? Most of this and other parts of this project are linked to 2000. Wasn't it 2000 when this puppy came out? And they're talking about remastering this, giving us a new version of this, and everything, everything. But due respect to Revolver. Now, I said I'd prove my point that a lot of you agree with me. And in order to do that, I have to go over to my post page where I have a current poll going on. All right. And right now we've got, it's probably over 400 now because I've had this iPad. It says 394 votes in just 6 hours at the time. So this has been a good, strong poll. People are interested in it. And here was the question posed to you folks. with the Beatles releasing clues, because that's about all we've gotten. All right. With the Beatles releasing clues for their upcoming November release, what do you think we are getting from the Beatles this year? Okay. You had four answers to answer with. The first answer was a fourth anthology that will include Now and Then. And there is a lot of chit chat about that possibility. The second possible answer you could have given a fourth anthology that will include a fourth John Lennon song. Now, why would I put that in there? We'll get to that in a moment. Okay, but that was an answer you could have chosen, or three of uh, anthology box set that include. Oh, okay. I messed it up, but it's an anthology box set that includes the DVDs remastered, and some of you voted for that. Okay, now out of those three, most of you voted for a fourth anthology that will include Now and Then. That was 33% of you. 12% of you said the anthology box set that includes the DVDs remastered. Okay. And then only 9% of you, but there was almost one tenth of you answered a fourth anthology that will include a fourth John Lennon song. Okay. So those people are very much in the know or they're conspiratorial, right? And I'm in one of those two camps, I can tell you, because I would have clicked on that answer if there hadn't been a fourth answer. The fourth answer, and 45% of you, the large majority of you, voted for the following. I don't give a damn. I want Rubber Soul. So when I asked at the beginning of my stream, is this something that fans want? We're expecting? I mean, it would be nice if they punched this project up and everything, but not, and release it on an inappropriate year. I'm not saying there's no room for repackaging the anthology
We're at 96.
project. What's that, baby?
Said we're at 96 right now.
Oh, good. You got a good crowd in, huh?
We do.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Wow. Kimberly tells me we've got 96 in right now. My goodness, we do. Yeah, good. Okay, so with all of that in mind, most of you who have taken that poll so far agree with me. I don't give a damn. I don't want to talk about that. That's not what I'm here for. I want freaking Rubber Soul, right? Now, let me, what was this in the whole release of the red and blue? Okay, got that. Okay. All right, good. Yeah, we're going to go over. Before we do this, I wanted to go over the thought of that one choice that you could have made. The Beatles will release anthology, and on each anthology, in other words, they'll release four of them, a bonus one. And now properly placed on anthology will be four John Lennon songs. And there is a premise that could possibly be happening. When the Beatles or the Threedles got together, Yoko Ono gave them four songs. All right. Okay. She gave them Free as a Bird, Real Love, Now and Then, and Grow Old with Me. All right. So they never released that, yet they worked on it, or certainly discussed it, put it through the mechanizations to get it going and everything. And if you're going to do this, because now you have to think about what they're releasing, even if it's just anthology 4, and then re-release the other ones just so you can order them, and you can choose to buy it all by itself, and it includes Now and Then. What's the big freaking draw? Now and Then's already on the red and blue albums. So I don't think that's going to be the draw at all, which makes me wonder if they've redone Grow Old With Me. Now, I know they repackaged Grow Old With Me on Lennon. You go, oh, that's not going to happen. Well, why not? They had access to it, they worked on it, right? It was just not the one they chose to really put all that effort. And a lot of it had to do with John's voice isolating it and everything over that original demo. It was way beyond the technology that they have now. So why wouldn't they release that? And then put one song on every album. That way, people would buy it and rebuy the whole set. That would be great, you know, even if they didn't remaster it. Although, if they're going to this much trouble and there's talk of the DVD being remastered, I think we're going to get that, right? So I think there is a possibility, at least, that we may get 4 Beatle songs out of this whole thing, which then begs the question, why did we get the Red and Blue albums? Now, the Red and Blue albums, if we get Now and Then attached to this project, the Red and Blue albums are remastered stuff that was on the Red and Blue albums originally with an extra record of a bunch of stuff that is coming out and being packaged even more direct in your face than even the Red and Blue albums. And if there's not an extra song, would there really be that much interest in Anthology being remastered, right? And on top of that, you got to think about what they've produced so far and how they've gone about this. Now, that's what I'm saying. They're more focused on continuing the Beatle. I don't know. I don't want to call it a myth, but the Beatle legend, right? And they're really covering bases. This all sounds to me like decisions made by the people who are running the Beatle empire day to day, not so much Paul and Ringo. They do this big plan. They have these plans. Paul's, they've got so much attention. Oh, yeah, that sounds good. And there's a financial reason why they would do this. And I understand that. But to disservice the actual art of the Beatles over the legend of the Beatles is ridiculous. Because to me, the true legend from the Beatles is their art. Repackaging it and turning it inside out and upside down is interesting. I would say that's interesting. I'm not saying I wouldn't be interested in these projects at all. But first and foremost, my God, especially with what they did with Revolver, everybody knows these 2 albums are tied together. How could they possibly make a decision that wouldn't have it? Now, this is by what we've heard so far, folks. I don't know that there isn't a Rubber Soul coming out tonight or this year. They haven't said no. There's not been anything that said no, but there's too many, and especially with this last set of clues, I think we're done and dead in the water. And if that's true, I feel they've done a major freaking disservice to this album, and they've harmed the Beatle legacy, in my opinion. All right. So let's see. Choose R&B's instead of Rubber Soul. Okay. Yeah, I got that. All right. Good. I think I covered the basic. Yeah, I covered the poll. So this will give me a chance to spend some time with you folks in the comments. I want to hear from you. What do you guys think of this? That's the kind of comments I'm going to be looking for right now. Okay. I'm going to start from the latest and work my way up. Okay. Donna the Frank says, I agree 100% with Michael. Okay, so I've got one of you that agree with me anyway. Michael Shogi, welcome, Michael, says everything Michael says is true, but he's thinking like a Beatles fan and musician, not as a businessman. I plead guilty to that right away. Okay, I do. But I also have some experience in finances in the music industry. I think that they could have repackaged this and done Rubber Soul a major service on its year and do this next year, right? But I'm not going to get my way. There's no way. Michael Boswell says, "We aren't driving the bus. Sony is driving." I know, Michael. I know. Michael and I have been going back and forth with music industry versus rock artists and what I call rockers. And he sees them still as rock artists beyond when I see them. But he's got a good argument for it. Like I said, I penned the comment, and you guys can make up your own damn minds about which one of us is closer to the way you think, you know. But I always respect Michael and everything he says. Deuce is Wild. The Beatles were also the band of first. They did every kind of concept and every songcraft first, as well as how and where they performed, e.g., on the rooftop of London. And how about Shea Stadium, the first stadium rock concert of all time? The Beatles invented stadium rock, right? I mean, plain and simple. And there's been talk about that being remade. Good Lord. Too many anniversaries. That's how talented the Beatles were. There's going to be tons of anniversaries they could tie their products to at almost any time of year, any given year. Yeah, since they basically covered the majority of a full decade, well, 7 out of 10 ain't bad. Think of all that content in 7 years. My goodness gracious. It blows my mind. Ron Martin says 21 plus albums with later fades, everything in mono and stereo, monofilm print mixes for a hard day's night. Tell me why. Help. Riverbed, as in the film's intro, so much involved. Yes, I remember when A Hard Day's Night was first transferred into the closest thing. Was it actual high? Yeah, it was. It was high definition. And my wife at the time of an earlier marriage, she said, "Yeah, I've lived a life, right?" But we went down and we saw it in San Francisco in a very nice theater, and it was something to behold. It was sharp and everything, and every copy I had basically copied from the TV on VCR. And so I went and saw that. And of course, I've got the high def versions of everything the Beatles have offered in high def. So I hear you, brother. Donna the Frank says, in my opinion, none of those four songs given by Yoko are Beatles songs. They are merely Lennon songs he made demos of for a possible future Lennon solo album. And then there's that argument, Frank. Uh, Absolutely. I hear you. Except that then I hear, Real Love doesn't do much for me. Free as a Bird does something for me. Now and then, Hit Me in the Heart. Okay. And I hear Beatles. I just hear Beatles. But you're right. These were never designed to be on a Beatle album. They may have not even been designed to be on a John Lennon album. He never released them in his lifetime. So you never know. But it's songs he wrote that she liked and she offered the Beatles to work on to produce as, Beatle material. And I hear the Beatles when I listen to them, brother. Michael Shogi, hello, Natalie, Kimberly, and everyone. Good to see you. Um, let's see. Brett Mansax. Oh, yeah, almost got me there. How many times in years are you going to listen to the same shit? Mono, stereo, remastered again. It never ends. Yeah, the only argument against that one is in since especially with Peter Jackson and his new technology that was evident in the Get Back film. I think it is time to kind of marry up some of the Beatle material and be able to give them contemporary mixes that the Beatles just weren't able to give us right? I know we've only got two Beatles making those decisions now, so I sit uncomfortably with that. I don't really care what estates think. I don't care what Yoko or Sean thinks about the Beatles. I don't care about what Olivia thinks about the Beatles. They're nice folks. Danny Harrison, they're all nice folks. Well, some of them are. But they're not the Beatles. So anytime they're involved in well, we're protecting John's legacy. Yeah, sometimes, and sometimes you're exploiting it, in my humble opinion. Just to, what
Oh
about
my
the latest
goodness,
release from
Michael
John
came
Lennon's
in
camp?
with a $10
Oh
super
my goodness, Michael
Oh my
Boswell
goodness, it
and
was always so wonderful.
thank you so much,
Thank
brother,
you,
with a $10 super thanks. He says, without Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Fats Domino, Chubby Checkers, Buddy Holly, and the Crickets, there would have been no British invasion. Yeah, I agree with you. Those are the heroes to John and Paul and George and to the other fairy band, bands that came out of Brian's stable of artists and other stables of artists. Those are the people they nod their teeth on, right? Elvis, Jerry Lee Lewis, Carl Perkins, Paul. Years later, even had him on Tug of War. I think that was a co-written song between the two of them. Maybe it was Paul just writing it in his style. I know Paul likes to do that. He wrote one in Elvis's style for London Town, right? So yeah, and I absolutely hear you. As a matter of fact, I had said, and I've already corrected this faux pas. But if you ever watch any of my past videos and you hear me saying classic rock lasted for 50 years, I meant rock and roll lasted for 50 years, by my estimation, half a century ruling the airwaves. And classic rock was 40 years of that. But this channel will cover those early years of rock and roll. But my primary area of interest is from about 1965 to about 2005, begrudgingly 2005, right? Still hot and going good right up until the turn of the century, though. Very much so. And some decent albums coming out shortly after, and a few great albums right on through up until today, but it's nowhere near the output. Oh, God. You'd go in back in the day, remember going to a record store, and man, you could even buy I've got the bucks for three albums. And you'd still have to leave two or three albums behind. Next week you come in, oh, I only got for two albums. And the three albums that you had to leave behind is now including five more. You couldn't buy everything unless you were well off. You couldn't buy everything you were interested in. Now, you hear something's coming up and you can either order it immediately or know it's coming up and because it costs a little bit more these days and actually purchase it because it's a major purchased item with the cost of vinyl and especially remastered albums, box sets, or especially like I got the 45 version of Ozzy Osbourne, Patient Number 9, clear vinyl. You can buy that kind of stuff and everything. But yeah, Michael, you just named the monsters. To me, classic rock is uh, Mount Rock Olympus time. From Elvis on, you've got the Titans, right? They're not currently ruling the airwaves, but without the Titans, there would be no Olympian gods. That's the way I've always looked at it. As a matter of fact, for new viewers, if you go over to the more button, you go to my channel page, you click on that more. I have a list of 13 bands. The list used to be 13 bands I chose, but then I gave it over to the tribe, right? And these are the top 13. Now, why 13? Well, hear me out. The top 13 bands of Mount Rock Olympus, okay? But there were only 12 gods on Mount Rock Olympus, Michael. Yeah, really? What about uh, what about Hades? Right? He didn't exactly reside on Mount Rock Olympus, the dark little bastard, but he'd occasionally visit, and he was one of the three main gods, the three brothers. And so I chose 13 bands initially, and then I gave it over to you and one of my most huge tens of thousands of votes on this. And those 13 bands are the 13 bands that the tribe has put on Mount Rock Olympus. The number one band, the Beatles. Okay. The Beatles would be Zeus. And their artwork are his lightning bolts, right? And what is Rubber Soul a dud of a lightning bolt for Zeus? I ask you. No, it cannot be so, right? Okay, let's get back to some of you here. Yeah, Shea Stadium was groundbreaking. Deuces Wild said this. The first stadium band indeed. So he concurs with me. Let's see. Caitlin is in. I looked for you earlier before I got on, and you weren't in early enough for me to badge you up, Caitlin.
Oh yeah.
But, oh, do we have some Paul is dead chat in here? Because Caitlin says Paul is not dead. Yeah, I just was Paul McCartney a video based on two of my videos that I did a couple of years ago. One was 2 years, one was 1 year ago, and it asks, did was Paul McCartney the first Beatle to die? You know, and we cover that whole thing. What were you saying, baby?
I said badge Caitlin.
Oh, I will. She's just got to get in early enough. William Langan. Yeah, good to see you, William. I'm glad you pled guilty, Mike. I'm with you because I feel the same way. Yeah. Well, and that's part of the fans, and yeah, I think you're talking about with Michael and I having a different point of view, if that's what you were talking about. But everybody's got an opinion. I've said that in one of my more famous videos. Opinions are like a sphincter. Everyone's got one. And we all blow our wind to each other, our personal opinions. But that's what kind of makes this whole channel kind of sparkle, I think, is not all of us are going to agree. Some of you out there watching me right now, I know for a fact you're going, Michael, you're so off base. There's every reason why this is the greater thing. I love Rubber Soul, but no, this year had to belong to Anthology, especially with the new um, technology that can isolate tracks and ooh, what are we going to get and what are they got? This is exciting and everything. And you would probably be, and since they released, I would say since they released the Red and Blue album, you'd be making sense because the Red and Blue album disrespected Rubber Soul all over the place. We got 6 to 8 songs from Rubber Soul redone with the latest technology. I won't listen to them. I just won't fucking listen to them. I can't. You know. I mean, I gave them one listen. I went, oh yeah, and then I put it away. Not till I get Rubber Soul. Right. I will not purchase. I'm a new vinyl collector. I've got just under 140 albums right now, and obviously, I've already shown you I collect box sets, or at least I'm open to collecting box sets because I've got the Revolver box set. I want Rubber Soul. I need that box set. It's what I want. I gotta have it. And the freaking Beatles aren't giving it to me. Babe,
Yes.
the Beatles are acting like assholes.
Oh my goodness, you better spank them.
I want. Well, I was hoping you'd spank them.
Oh, I'll give them a good spanking. They will.
Yeah, I'm not gonna let you. I'm not gonna let you near Ringo. She thinks he's so gaga good looking.
He's adorable.
He's adorable. See what I mean?
Ringo.
Yeah.
I love that handlebar.
I'll slip right on in there. Hey, Ringo, nice to meet you, buddy. Yeah, that's my wife back there, right? Never trust a Beatle with women.
Yeah.
Ever, ever, ever.
Never.
Good Lord, they've slept with the universe. Oh my God. Oh, let's see. Deuces Wild. The Beatles were also the band of. Oh, I covered that one. Okay, good. Ron Martin, 21 plus. I got that one. Let me get on up here. Let's go and see what some of your earlier comments were. Rami or Rami. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. Lopez, Rami Lopez, perhaps. Uh, they didn't care what fans want. Are we going to get a new song for Volume 4? Grow Old with Me. Yeah. Uh, since they're doing this and they're actually inserting it in front, a 30-year anniversary in front of a 60-year anniversary. Yeah, it makes no freaking sense to me. That's why I almost think we might be getting a fourth Beatles song, you know, and the obvious uh, one that is in the lineup to be identified as the culprit would be Grow Old with Me because they had that to mess with. We don't know exactly how far they messed with it or anything, or at least I'm not aware. Maybe some of you have read articles that I haven't read, but uh, I thought they had just gone to listening, putting it through, seeing what they could do, isolate, as much as they could, and what was just sitting right in front of them that they couldn't eliminate, either by adding instruments right on top of that to kind of accentuate it, make it look like a purposeful mistake or anything. I'm sure they had all of that discussion amongst themselves. And I remember at the time, that was cool technology just for what they did then. That was hot technology back in, the mid 90s, right? They were embracing the very latest, but that technology has grown up, just plain and simple, folks. And that's why I think it's inevitable, whether you agree that we should be getting all these reboxes, these remasters, these uh, remixed albums, the isolating of tracks. You guys know what I think of AI. I love AI when it's a slave, and under these circumstances, when you can send it down with algorithms that search out to isolate vocal tracks and to take away everything else and then putting that on a track. Okay, to me, I have no trouble with that. I'm all in for technology and preserving what our past through it. Okay, there's no problem with that. The problem I have with the whole thing on AI is when you give it a freaking brain. And I talked about the top 10 or the unholy 10 of classic rock. AI is the 10th unholy. Okay. And so, like I said, that list will come in and out of all of my videos from now on. And here we are. We're talking about AI, right? We can't let AI or AI like people, for example, Giles Martin, who I used to have so much respect for, his first stuff out with him, he did a fabulous job. I didn't agree with everything on the Revolver, but man, I love 99% of that shit. He did real good on there, but he's been hit and miss. Look what he did to I Am the Walrus. God, what a horrible uh, absolute destroying deconstruction of not only a song the Beatles pretty much it didn't need to be remixed. It's one of those, I mean, I could see if you gently remixed it, but it was that harsh over thing that they took out of it, out of the intro, that gave it power. That was the Beatles using the limited technology they had at the time to produce a masterpiece over that limitation. How dare they ruin that song? And so ever since Giles did that, I haven't been a fan of him. He needs to be removed. Let's get some of Peter Jackson's people on the team. Just take him out. Sorry, you ain't what your papa was. You showed promise, but you didn't deliver, son. Okay, plain and freaking simple. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? Well, I got all the way to the top. Deck Tester. Whoop, and then you disappeared. I hate your iPad Kimberly.
I know.
Oh God, it just disappeared, and I'm not going to be able to find it. Man, crashing and burning live on YouTube just
Oh
sucks,
dear.
baby. I
Yeah,
hate it. I almost don't have. I don't have the wherewithal for this.
I
You
know.
know.
You poor thing.
I'm suffering, darling. I really am. Those damn chickens are back. Did you notice that?
I did.
Crowing away.
Yeah, they are.
Dirty
They're
bastards.
growing
Ugh.
and doing what.
These are, they're not our chickens, folks. These are our neighbors' chickens.
I know.
And our neighbors not only brought those chickens, but then they cast their feed directly in front of our house, not in front of their house. So they come to our yard and shit up the place. Good Lord. If I was, well, I'm kind of living in the country. I'm just outside city limits, right? And the sound of chickens and cock crowing and everything, that's great. I love it. You know, it's not the sound, but I don't want it when I'm live on YouTube going off.
I know.
You know, just pisses the hell out of me. And I have a mental breakdown right here live. I'm seriously, no, if you knew, people could tell you, man. All right, let's see who else is here. RK Michaels, it's MKLZ. They should have made a new Beatles album with all the songs, not an official album, like a remastered version of a Doll's House. Oh God, yeah. Oh, that would be an. That sounds like a Giles Martin move, though, doesn't it? But interesting proposition there. Let's see. Yeah, got to that. Good. I got to a lot of the ones. Let me see if any brand new ones need to be covered here. I'll go up about 10. Let's see. Hey, cats, this is Brunswick. Sorry I can't join in the fun tonight. My laptop or crap top volume sound crapped out, and I suck at lip reading. Hope to get it fixed and join my second family before you're done. Sigh. Oh my God, Bron Snake, I'm sorry you're going through that. Who else is doing that? Rockin' Robin Bird has been in and off the internet all today. She's got some problem with her system.
Oh dear.
Yeah.
We know how that feels.
Oh, we know how that feels. Boy, I'm surprised we haven't. Well, didn't we get shut down one night because the internet went off?
Did.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, you would think in 2025, you know, if they could send a man to the moon, that we wouldn't have the failures we do. And yet I'm still absolutely freaking amazed at what we, you know, have accomplished. I can't, if you had told me when I was 15, when you're 70 years old, Michael, you'll have this basically television show, right? Uh, and you'll have thousands of people who access your content, your show all the time. I would have gone, get the hell out of here,
Yeah.
you know? So that's amazing. I love it. As a matter of fact, that's why, you know, I'm talking about creativity here, right? That or the reason Rubber Soul needs to be addressed now here this year is because it's such a creative leap forward. That's why I do my channel. I get to create. I don't use see okay. All right, I'm gonna go off on a tirade here. Okay, well, we've got Professor of Rock and Rick Beato, and we've had some discussion from our local quadrant of the universe concerning this. Okay, uh, I'm not going to name the channel, but one content creator that I'm thinking of right there, and I can think of lots of content creators that I enjoy and I like that do this, and that is they use music. Here it comes, folks, that they don't own, and they're putting it out on their channels. And one way or another, they profit from that. Whether it's an increase of subscribers or actual monies gained, many of them get shut down these days. I just had a conversation with Royce on this. We've been going back and forth. We've been brainstorming all freaking week. Uh, and there's a lot of stuff coming his way. So join me on Royce on Sunday at 6:30. That's right after my 5 p.m. show, folks. Okay, because I think he's about ready to announce a major move for his channel. And we've been going back and forth and everything on this. And neither one of us uh, agree with people who utilize content that they didn't create, they didn't film, they didn't record, uh, and everything, and that uh, it's not theirs. All right, this kind of thing, and all of them all go, oh shuckums, we're just having funums here, and just listening to some. This is fair use, right?
Hey, hon.
Yeah, baby.
Michael Boswell says, when you say using music you own, is that music you have purchased or music you have created?
Good question, Michael. Let me explain. I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about. Thanks for bringing that up, baby. Okay, so here's what I have to say about that. Uh, at least once a year, I put out a tribute video for fallen rockers, don't I, Michael? All right. Do you notice I always use the same soundtrack? Was that J.J. Cale Dewdrops? Every time I use that soundtrack, I pay $10, whether the video does good or not. Okay. I purchased that, Michael, because the free music that you'll often hear underneath my, which I've scoured to get to, kind of connect and give the channel an identity. All right. But in the case of J.J. Cale, that's a well known song. And guess what? Me paying for that license for a one time use, right, is a gamble because the channel may make what $3 in commercials, which means I'd lose $7 over that right away. It's a gamble, but I believe in paying my way. I don't own that song, right? And I use the free music on there that's available to content creators for other purposes. So here's the problem, Michael. I'm glad Michael always, you know, he. I've got a couple: Doc Insomnia, Michael, Divining Dragon, Storm Cop, and now I'm going to lose about six of you, and you're going to go. You didn't mention me, man. I take you to task. I'm sorry. Those are the ones that are coming to my. But these people take me to task all the time, and in the case of not owning music. Now, here's the deal. We're going to get so that's my belief system. First of all, I wanted to sew that up. All right, I pay for any music that I use that I'm not allowed to use for free. Now, every content creator knows this when they become monetized. You reach 1,000 subscribers, and then you can apply to become a YouTube partner, right? That means you get a percentage of the commercials they show. If you don't get a percentage of the commercials, they won't stop showing those commercials. They'll still show them. It's just that the content creator won't get anything for it, right? And so the content creator actually has a chance to get a piece of the change, to make some change on YouTube. And the whole process is really freaking close. That YouTube frowns on you using other people's music. Now they did okay using a limited amount of time for that, but there's been holes in that. People have gotten into trouble over that. So that's not a firm, and I didn't believe in using that anyway. I thought that was a false draw, especially if you're a content creator that talks about music, then you just put 15 seconds of, I don't know, Stairway to Heaven on there, and people click. That's an easy way to get subs. I don't try to do that with my shorts. It's all stuff I've created, right? So I'm against it. And Rick Beato, who's got 5.3 million subscribers. So who the hell am I to talk about this? Professor of Rock's well over 1 million subscribers. They've even teamed up in their videos and everything. I have to, this is Rick Beato's response, I have to hire a full-time lawyer to bat all these claims down, right? Doesn't that sound like just like somebody right out of the Napster era? Think about it. Ever since Napster, everybody thinks they've got a piece of the action of something created by another person or bought from that other person, and a new owner owns it. You go to a hamburger stand, you pay for the hamburger before they give it to you. You go to buy or rent a car, you pay for that rental because the rental agency owns the freaking car. Ownership, the American way, right? So I have trouble with, the false crocodile tears from Rick Beato and Professor of Rock because they've been doing it in mass. Now, here's the deal. They're the first big targets. I was me and Royce been talking about this. They are the very first big targets. All right, it's already down. They're shutting channels that are 100,000 subscribers down, and I think within weeks, no longer than 6 months, it's going to reach our level. All right, the YouTube route algorithm, or the search bots and everything are going after that stuff because they own it. All right. It would be nice to be able to play music on here. It would make my job a hell of a lot easier. I could play a portion and go, see, now listen for the cellos here. Oh my God, I'd love to be able to do that. But that's not the agreement I made with YouTube. See, I actually believe that if you sign a contract with somebody, you keep your end of that freaking contract. So that's why you don't see me approaching and using music, bits of video that I don't own. I don't need the freaking headache. Because guess what? The headaches are coming, folks. All right, I'm going to shut down. We went over an hour tonight. I usually go for an hour. On sometimes midweek, we'll go a little longer. But I thought about an hour would cover this subject really well. I know we had did we break 100 at one point?
Oh, yeah.
Right now, we've maintained 74 of you. My God, wonderful, wonderful retention of viewers watching this. Okay, so for a lot of you, you're going to see this after this point as a rerun, right? My streams will be left up and you can watch it as, a complete video now. But what's cool about that, you can't respond to me in the now like you have here. But I always spend a couple of hours trying to answer you guys back. Now, that may be an hour after I get off here, or for an hour after a couple of hours after being off, and then about an hour the next day. If I spent any more time answering, I used to be able to spend, oh God, hours talking with you folks. I would spend up to 6 hours talking to you guys. Those were the good old days. But the channel has grown, and for me to keep up with content you guys want to watch, I got to cut bait there sometimes. Oh my goodness. Yeah.
John C. just.
Oh, he did it again?
Yeah, John C.
He does it. This is the third, baby, this is the third stream in a row that he comes in at the last second. Oh my goodness. What did he give us? A $5 super thanks. Thank you, John C. Is yes in the top 13. You damn right they are. As a matter of fact, before I turn off, let me go on over here. I'll go to my channel page.
Okay.
Did you know I had a channel page, baby?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, I have a channel page. And oh, they got this more, and you click that. Here, yeah. By the way, yes was number 5 on my list, so keep that in mind, brother. Okay. Here are the top 13 bands of Mount Rock Olympus as voted for by the tribe. And I will be doing this once a year, maybe once every 18 months, and redo the list and give everybody a chance to re-rank these puppies. Okay. So at number 13, Grand Funk Railroad. At number 12, Genesis. At number 11, Yes. Remember, I said they were like 4 or 5, maybe 6, that much higher on my list, my original list. At number 10, here's the top 10, Queen. Number 9, Creedence Clearwater Revival. Number 8, Rush. Number 7, Black Sabbath. Number 6, Deep Purple. Number 5, The Who. Number 4, The Rolling Stones. Number 3, Pink Floyd. Number 2, Led Zeppelin. And number 1, The Beatles. And that's just one of the reasons we had our stream tonight. All right, folks, listen, I certainly appreciate all the super thanks, but I want to address you, the viewer, who might even be having a problem with this super thanks thing. I could see how people might look at that kind of weirdly, right? What's happening is people are helping support the channel. I invested all back into the studio equipment. I've got an iPad I got to replace here before too long. I've run my entire channel on this iPad, and I'm filming from my iPad right now. So all of that kind of stuff helps me present new equipment. We want to get a mic on to Kimberly for these streams. We also want to invest on a better platform that'll flip my image to right side up, inside out. I don't know whatever it is, because you're seeing a reversed image. So that's what they're doing. But if you're a viewer and you've enjoyed any of this, besides all that nonsense, I want to tell you, you're the people that I do this for. And all those people, before they started giving, they were like you. They just watch my videos. The vast majority of them just watch my videos, but they've got into the spirit of things. And I give you one promise: I will always come up here well prepared and have something substantial to say and a theme for each other. I put as much work into my streams as, and in some cases, much more work into my streams. I got a stream coming up, boy. Oh, I'll collapse for 1,000 days after that. I'll bet. I want to, you know, that we're going to be talking about. This wasn't the scheduled stream for today, was it? Okay, so keep that in mind. This I changed it. I announced another stream on my last stream, didn't I? Okay, and some of you even seen the artwork. This is the second time that stream has been bumped. Okay. And I'll only do that for a subject that is very timely and you have to deal with it. And we'll know more here in a day or two, I'm sure. They're not. They usually like to, do it for 24 hours and they release it, but they release it on a Saturday here in the United States. So today's a Sunday. They don't want to release any information on that. Maybe tomorrow or within a week, I would imagine we'll get more information. What do you guys think? So leave all your comments if you're seeing this for the first time as a replay. I want to thank from the bottom of my heart, folks, each and every one of you. You gave me a great audience tonight. You gave me such a great audience. And a whole lot of us agreed tonight, I think. But if you don't agree, I really want to hear from you who don't agree. All right. I'm not going to be there to snipe you. I want to hear your very good reasons as to why you are more comfortable with an Anthology 4. I know one reason you might have is, yeah, we get a whole lot more to buy, and if you're well off, and yeah, Christmas in August, right?
Dr. Rick said Zappa.
Zappa?
Yep, Zappa.
Zappa.
Yeah.
Yeah, talk about an endless supply of box sets and past record. Oh my God, what is he releasing an album every week and a half these days? Seems like it. Oh boy. Anyway, I had a great time as always. Like I said, I'm Michael Noland. This is the bottom line. The bottom line as I see it, but it is also a bottom line that invites your response every single time. Room for discussion must always be maintained in the tribe, folks. This has been Tribal Forum number 62, and we've been discussing Anthology when we should have been discussing and celebrating the release and remix and remastered box set of Rubber Soul. All right, folks. Night. I'll see you on my next stream. It doesn't want to click off. Okay.